Well, we begin this afternoon with the new details from Conway police about the deadly shooting Sunday night. The police chief and mayor wrapping up a press conference within the last hour. Carter Thweet was there and joins us with the latest we've learned today. Carter, tell us more.
Jurnee, the first thing we learned today was the names of the two victims who passed away. Tatiana Pinister, 24 years old, of England, Arkansas, and Demetrius Feemster, 23, of Little Rock. And 8 others have non-life-threatening injuries, and then 1 is still in the hospital in serious condition. I want to make sure I get these details right because this was horrific, according to the chief of police. They say at least 6 weapons were discharged, could have been more, and over 100 rounds were fired. Now, a lot of the questions today from community members who were in attendance were, what was this party on Sunday night at 5th Avenue Park in Conway, and how was it allowed to happen? And the police answered some parts of that and said other parts are still under investigation. They said that this was an out-of-town organizer who did not go through the usual channels in setting up this party, so they didn't have a permit. If they had tried, likely would not have gotten one. However, police were unable, with all the people who were there, to confirm whether they had a permit, whether this was an event that even needed a permit. And so even though they knew about the party on Sunday afternoon, weren't able to confirm anything until shots started at around 7:45 p.m. Something else the chief of police said during this press conference was that this is worrying and that if they don't crack down on these out-of-town organizers, things like this could continue to happen.
These parties are going to continue to happen. Not necessarily Conway, not necessarily Little Rock, North Little Rock, Jacksonville, Pine Bluff, until the promoters of these parties who do it illegally and backdoor are held liable.
And obviously this does leave some unanswered questions. What started this gunfire? Obviously we want to know more about this promoter, who they were, and have they been questioned? We've asked Conway police those questions and more. Hope to be able to get you some of those answers tonight at 5 and 6. For now though, in Conway, Carter Thweet, THV 11 News.
Well, good afternoon. It is absolutely beautiful out there today. 64 in Central Arkansas, a few 50s, even some 70s creeping in already here at the noon hour. In Central Arkansas right now, we've got a northerly breeze around 7 to 10 miles per hour. You notice those dew points are fairly low as well. That is good news. We are seeing, again, a nice day ahead. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. Hour by hour, a lot of sunshine today. Again, that northerly breeze. Looking for that high around 70, but as we're heading into the evening hours, we're going to see those temperatures dip just a little bit today, and for your Wednesday it's looking much better. As far as the sunshine goes, it's sticking around 74, and then by Thursday we've got some 80s pushing back into the forecast. Stay with me, we'll talk more about this week's weather and what you can expect for your Easter weekend coming up.
All right, Tracy, thank you. Well, new at noon, Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders announcing changes to SNAP benefits. Just hours ago, the governor telling us she is submitting a waiver request to the federal government to ban junk food purchases with SNAP. In addition to the ban, the waiver also requests to add rotisserie chicken to the list of eligible SNAP items, something currently not allowed under federal rules. The state's Department of Human Services says improving health outcomes is a top priority, and they believe steering people toward more nutritious options is a step in the right direction. Now, the plan still requires USDA approval before any changes can be made. If you'd like to weigh in, a 30-day public comment period is now opened in Arkansas. And at the Capitol, an Arkansas House committee approves a bill to dismantle the State Library Board and let Governor Sanders name all new members later this year. Senate Bill 640 follows failed efforts to pass Senate Bill 536. It would have gotten rid of the state library system and its board altogether. Supporters say the current board is dysfunctional, while critics call the move a political power grab. If it passes, the House and the governor signs it, the change would take effect August 1st. Now in Washington, a hearing is scheduled for this afternoon for the Maryland man mistakenly deported to El Salvador. The Trump administration and El Salvador's president have signaled they do not plan to take any action. Natalie Brand shows that feeling comes despite a Supreme Court order to facilitate his return to the U.S.
Ahead of his Oval Office meeting with El Salvador's president, a camera caught President Trump discussing sending U.S. citizens who commit violent crimes to El Salvador.
Homegrowns are next. The homegrowns. You got to build about 5 more places. Yeah, that's big. All right. It's not big enough.
Later, in front of a larger group of reporters, the president said his attorney general was looking into the idea.
I'm talking about really bad people. Really bad people. Every bit as bad as the ones coming in.
Former federal judge John Jones says deporting Americans is unconstitutional, pointing to the 8th Amendment, which prohibits cruel and unusual punishments.
Not only chilling, but it's also not going to be legal.
The administration is also facing an intensifying legal fight to return a Maryland resident after admitting an administrative error prompted Kilmar Abrego Garcia's deportation to El Salvador last month. A judge ruled in 2019 he could not be returned to his home country for fear of persecution. But the Trump administration alleges he's an MS-13 gang member, something his family and attorney dispute.
When President Trump declared MS-13 to be a foreign terrorist organization, that meant that he was no longer eligible for any form of immigration relief in the United States.
Last week, the Supreme Court ruled the administration should facilitate Abrego Garcia's return, with Justice Sonia Sotomayor raising concerns about due process. Attorney General Pam Bondi says it's up to El Salvador. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Well, it's tax day for most Arkansans. The deadline just got pushed back. The IRS is giving people in Arkansas until November 3rd to file and pay federal taxes. But for state taxes, the deadline is earlier. It's July 31st. Now, keep in mind, though, today it's still the deadline for 13 counties in Arkansas. You can visit thv11.com to see if your county is on the list. And while you might have a little extra time to file your taxes, you don't get that extension for some tax day deals. Krispy Kreme is offering buy 1 dozen of donuts, only pay the sales tax on the second dozen. And if you're ordering online, you can use the code TAXBREAK. Over at Burger King, they're offering a cheeseburger for a penny and $1 purchase. And Potbelly is offering buy 1, get 1 free sandwiches, so you and a friend can celebrate being done with your taxes. Oh, love that. Well, millions of pounds of food are wasted every year, and many blame that on misleading packaging. A look at what's the dates on your food mean and when we come back. Tracy?
Well, we've got a beautiful day ahead. 70s today, 70s tomorrow. Well, those 80s, they're coming back to us as well. Let's talk more about those temperatures coming up in just a few minutes.